Right. Good morning, everyone. I hereby convene the August 4th, 2025 hearing of the Santa Barbara County Zoning Administrator. My name is Linda Liu, and I'll be the zoning administrator for today's hearing, and Mr. Jonathan Martin will be clerking. This hearing will be conducted under the provisions of the Ralph M. Brown Act, open meeting law, as well as the provisions of California planning law and the Santa Barbara County Code. We have two items on today's agenda. The clerk will read each item into the record, and I will announce any ex parte communications. I will then get comments from the case planner, followed by the applicant or the applicant's agent, and then I will get comments from the public. Anyone who wishes to testify should submit a speaker slip, or if testifying remotely, should use the raise hand feature. All right, the first portion of our agenda is for the general public to comment. This period gives the public an opportunity to comment on matters that are not on today's agenda. Mr. Martin, do we have any requests to speak on this?
We have received no requests to speak on any items not on today's agenda.
All right, thank you very much. I'll close out the that portion of the agenda. Mr. Martin, are we ready to proceed with the standard agenda?
Yes. Item number 1, hearing on the request of 905 South Patterson LLC property owner to consider the following. Case number 25 TPM-00002 for approval of a tentative parcel map and compliance with the County Code Chapter 21 to divide the existing lots into 2 lots and to determine the project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301, existing facilities, and 15315, minor land divisions, included attachment C.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Martin. By way of ex parte communications, I did speak with Ms. Brown regarding this project briefly before the hearing, and I received a voicemail from Ms. Laurel Perez describing the project from her perspective. Ms. Brown, are you ready to proceed?
Thank you, Ms. Liu. My name is Willow Brown, and I will be presenting the 905 South Patterson LLC tentative parcel map and as-built development plans project. The subject lot is located at 905 South Patterson Avenue in the Eastern Goleta Valley Community Plan area. The northern portion of the lot is within the inland area, and the southern portion of the lot is within the coastal zone. The entire lot was zoned Agriculture 1, but as part of the housing element update, the northern portion of the lot was rezoned to design residential. A tentative parcel map is proposed in order to rectify the split zoning and separate out the inland and coastal areas. The project will split the subject lot into 2 lots so that the northern lot will be entirely within the inland area and will be zoned design residential, and the southern lot will be entirely within the coastal zone and zoned Agriculture 1. Additionally, the project includes 2 as-built development plans in order to validate the existing agricultural development on the lots. The existing agricultural facility was constructed approximately 65 years ago and has accommodated a greenhouse and nursery operation continuously since that time. In 1998, ordinances were adopted which require approval of as-built development plans prior to zoning permit approval for existing structures that were previously exempt from a zoning permit but received a building permit. The existing facility is considered legal nonconforming as the structures were built with building permits but require an as-built development plan pursuant to the current code. The project also includes a development plan modification for the lot coverage requirement on proposed parcel 2 to exceed the allowed 65% lot coverage as the existing lot coverage is 67.6%. A modification to the parking requirement on proposed parcel 2 to allow for the requirement for 28 spaces to be reduced to 22 spaces, and a modification to the setback requirements on both lots to allow a 0-foot setback from the newly created lot line that will separate the 2 lots. The modifications will allow for the applicant to retain as many existing permitted structures as possible and maintain the agricultural operation on both lots until the time of future residential development. The project is exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15301, existing facilities, and 15315, minor land divisions. With the approval of the development plan modifications, the project is consistent with all requirements in the LUDC Article 2 and Chapter 21, as well as policies in the comprehensive plan, including the Eastern Goleta Valley Community Plan and the Coastal Land Use Plan. Staff recommends that you make the required findings for the project, including CEQA findings, determine the project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15301 and 15315, and approve the project subject to the conditions of approval included as attachment B. This concludes staff's presentation, and staff and the applicant are available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. I understand that there's a presentation from the applicant's side. Is that correct?
Good morning. Good morning, Administrator Liu. This is Laurel Perez from SEPS Land Use Consulting. I'm here remote, and with me today is our surveyor, Jim Wilson, also on Zoom, and Sarah Marshall is in the audience. Should you have any questions? Thank you very much, Ms. Brown, for a very thorough presentation as always. And so I won't take too long. You can see our slides there, and maybe if you could just click through those quickly. They identify basically what Ms. Brown has just explained. This really is a cleanup to the county's rezone as part of that housing element update, rezoning the northern portion of the cared property that is operated as Port Lamar Nursery for housing, leaving the southern portion of the property, approximately 20 acres in the coastal zone, will remain zoned. It has remained zoned Ag 110. So really, it's a cleanup item to establish a property lying along that split zone and coastal zone boundary. And it will allow the cared family to continue the agricultural use on proposed Lot 2, consistent with the ag zoning and coastal agricultural policies. And with that, we ask that you move forward with staff's recommendation for approval. We've reviewed all conditions of approval, and they're acceptable to the applicant. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Ms. Perez. Ms. Marshall, since you're here in person, do you have anything to add if you want to come up to the podium? No. Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. Martin, do we have any requests to speak for this?
If anybody would like to make a public comment on this item, please raise your hand in the chat. Seeing no public comment for this item.
I guess I might as well call on Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, do you have anything to add?
Thank you. I have nothing to add.
Great. Thank you very much. Ms. Brown, I did have a question regarding the setback modification request. So this is, I'm assuming, because of the structures that are to remain crossing the two property lines. Is that why we're asking for the setback modifications?
Ms. Liu, that's correct. The greenhouses would remain until the time of future residential development on the northern lot, and at that point would be required to be demolished to have a zero setback on the southern lot.
So would the setback modification remain after the buildings are demolished?
The setback modification on the southern lot for the greenhouses would remain to have a zero setback, and on the northern lot, the housing project would be required to comply with the DR zone setbacks.
So this modification to zero setback has nothing to do with if they come in for the housing project?
The setback modification for right now would be for the greenhouses to remain in their current location. So it would be a setback modification on each lot. And then with the future residential project, the residential portion would have to comply with the DR zone setbacks, but the ag zoned lot would still be allowed to go up to the property line.
I see. Okay. And I do see the NTPO condition on here. Is that going to be recorded on both parcel 1 and 2?
That's correct.
And will the NTPO also have language regarding the zero setback?
The NTPO would have language, yes, it would have language saying that they are required to demolish the portions of the greenhouse that are across the property line.
Can we update? So my concern is with the zero setback. So I want it to be clear to any future buyers that there's a zero setback with the other property. So is there, can we modify the condition to include that language? Because right now the condition only says that it's required to demolish those buildings, not necessarily notify the buyer, potential buyers of the setback.
Yes, I can add language to clarify that there would also be a zero setback.
Ms. Perez?
Yes, Ms. Liu, that would be acceptable to the applicant. No issue there. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, Ms. Brown, I'm sure that you will make that change in the action letter. So I'll go ahead and close out the public hearing for this item. I don't have any further questions for you. Thank you very much. And I'll go ahead and make the required findings for this project as specified in attachment A of the staff report, including the CEQA findings. I do determine that this project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15301 and 15315, as outlined in attachment C of the staff report. And I approve this project subject to the conditions of approval included as attachment B of the staff report and as revised in today's hearing. Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. Ms. Perez, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall, for being here. Mr. Martin, our next item, please.
Item number 2, 24 LLA-0001, hearing on the request of Hugo Peter Arnoldi to consider case number 24 LLA-00001 and to determine that the project is exempt pursuant to environmental review to section 15183 projects consistent with a community plan or zoning.
Thank you very much, Ms. Martin. By way of ex parte communication, I did speak with Mr. Francisco Vargas briefly about this project. Mr. Vargas, are you ready to proceed? Mr. Vargas?
Hi, Madam Zoning Administrator. This is Gwen Baylor. Francisco's having a hard time hearing. I'm trying to work with him right now to understand why he's not able to hear us.
All right, let's take a 5-minute recess. Mr. Martin, 5 minutes.
We'll take a 5-minute recess. Thank you.
Francisco, can you hear us now? I'm messaging with him and he's, I think, trying to reboot.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Gwen. Francisco, you're able to hear us?
I don't think he can hear us still. I'm still messaging with him on Teams, and I'm going to suggest that he calls in. He's still unable to
Yeah.
hear after a
Let me
reboot.
get him that call in.
Okay. And I think on the Zoom invite, there is a phone number, right? Or it's just on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, but I can message him to him right now.
Okay, excellent. Let's go with that. Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you all for bearing with us. So Francisco, can you hear us now?
Hi, Gwen. I'm not sure if you both are in the office today, but is there a way that Francisco can possibly present from your computer?
I'm actually working from home today,
Gotcha. No,
but
understood.
I did think about driving in real quick to see if he could do that. I am going to message him one more time and see if he's able to call in. And if
When
not,
are
I'll
you
see.
able to present it on his behalf?
That's a good idea. Yeah, let me check in and see if I can do that.
I would hate to have to continue this for Mr. Arnoldi's
Absolutely.
sake.
Technical. Yeah, well, I think that's a good last resort. Let me see if I can coordinate that with him. Thank you so much for your patience.
Yeah. Oh, I do see Francisco there. Press *6 to unmute. Hey,
Good
Francisco, can you
morning,
hear us?
Francisco here.
There we go.
It's not a wasted
Yes,
effort
I
for
can
you,
hear
Mr.
you.
Arnoldi.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, we are back on the record. Mr. Vargas, are you ready to proceed?
I am, yes.
All
Thank
right,
you
you're up.
for waiting. So good morning, Ms. Liu, Francisco here, County Planning. processing the Arnaldi lot line adjustment 24 LLA 00001. The project consists of 2 vacant parcels located off Highway 154 within the Eastern Goleta Community Plan area in Santa Barbara. Both parcels are zoned MT100 and are covered by mostly steep slopes. While no development is proposed at this time, the purpose of the lot line adjustment was to reconfigure the lots so as to facilitate clustering of development in the future. The lot line adjustment is a request to adjust one common lot line between the 2 legal lots. Existing parcel 1 is APN 153330025, and it is a 45.2 acre parcel, a legal nonconforming parcel as to size because it is under the 100 acres. And existing parcel 2 is APN 153330026, and that's a 109 acre parcel, which is a conforming lot because it exceeds the 100 acres minimum parcel size. So the lot line adjustment will not alter either of the acreages of both parcels. They'll maintain their existing acreages once adjusted. And as a result of the lot line adjustment, parcel 2, the 109 acre parcel, will be more easily accessible off the Highway 154 via an existing driveway. And ultimately, both parcels will now have access to the existing well and water infrastructure that is on the property. And based on condition of approval number 4, they'll be required to record a reservation of easement for access and utility and future access of the existing well infrastructure for both parcels. The project was reviewed by the Subdivision Review Development Committee, SDRC, and Caltrans. There were no concerns from anybody, and EHS did require the reservation of easement I just mentioned, and that was one of, like I said, it's a condition of approval. And Caltrans did review it as well. They noted that the existing driveway on the property has been used historically. They didn't indicate any concerns at this time. However, future development, when future development is proposed, the project will require clearance from Caltrans for proposed access and approach and et cetera. With this, I'd like, staff recommends that you take the following action today: make the required findings for approval, determine the project is exempt from environmental review based on consistency analysis, attachment C.2, and approve the lot line adjustment project 24 LLA 00001. This concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vargas. Mr. Arnoldi, do you have anything to add to Mr. Vargas's presentation? All right, and have you had an opportunity to review all the conditions of approval that Mr. Vargas is recommending on this project?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in agreement with all those conditions?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
All right. In particular, I just want to make sure that you understand that easement requirement, the reservation of easement requirement that is going to be imposed as part of this condition.
Correct.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Arnoldi. Mr. Martin, do we have any requests to speak on this?
If anybody would like to speak on this item, please raise your hand in the chat. We have nobody present in the room. And we have no public comment for this item.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Vargas, just a quick question regarding the reservation of easement. When is that required to be recorded?
So it's required to record prior to the certificates of conformity, or at the same time.
At the same time of the certificate of conformity?
Yes.
All right, great. Can we add that language in that condition just to make sure everyone's on the same page? The timing?
Let me double check. Yes, let's see.
So Francisco, this is Gwen Baylor here, just chiming in. It sounds like, Madam Zoning Administrator, the request is to add in the timing component, saying that the easement reservation would be recorded prior to the recordation of the certificate of conformance. Is that right?
Right, either concurrent or prior to,
Great.
based on what Mr. Vargas is saying. I'm used to
double checking
seeing
the
a
language
separate
right now.
timing paragraph on it.
I
Ms.
see.
Baylor?
Right, that makes sense to have a timing component. And I think that's definitely typical with how we
Right.
would typically process a reservation of easement.
Right. Mr. Arnoldi, are you okay with that minor change?
I think if we can do it about at the same time would be the most
All right.
desirable.
All right. Concurrent then.
Please.
All right. Ms. Baylor, Mr. Vargas?
Yeah, I agree with
All
that.
right. All right, then I will go ahead and close out the public hearing on this item. I have no further questions for either Mr. Arnoldi or for the staff team. So I'll go ahead and make the required findings for this project as specified in attachment A of the staff report, including the CEQA findings. I do determine that this project is exempt from CEQA pursuant to guidelines section 15183. Included as attachment C of the staff report, and I approve this project subject to the conditions of approval included as attachment B of the staff report and as revised in today's hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Vargas. Ms. Baylor?
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Arnoldi, for being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Martin, I believe that concludes our hearing for today.
So much.